think what Sweeney was trying to say. It's not as easy. I do agree that everybody should have like a backup plan, right? Only for backup. But it is not as easy when you have villages. You have family members who are here. You invested in it. You know, I have both of my grandparents. I have my grandmother. I mean, my mother, my dad. All these people who are still living. So I can't just think about me. It would have to be all of us, because that's just how I roll, right? It's not as easy. But I would have to agree with Hink, though, on the topic. If you're talking about it in that sense, like just having a backup plan, I 100% agree. But if you're just persuading people to go live somewhere else, I'm with Hink. If that were the situation, then you should be there now. Like, why are you here? Or whoever stated that. It's like, I always think of people like, why would I run somewhere that everybody else is running out of, you know? Like, so you got to take those things in consideration. I think Lady T, I think it's a little easier for you because your village is there, right? Your family members are there. It's easy for you to pick up and go because you're actually going to where your family is. It's where what you know. Same thing with Louise. You have people, you have family there. So it's just a different situation for people who don't have that background, that common knowledge. As far as Ruth, you just persuaded us not to go to your country because
I ain't got nowhere to go. I'm just letting y'all know how I feel. I ain't got nowhere to go, man.
Your country crashed, but you want us to go there anyway.
You want us to run over there with you.
I can't go. You can't go. We can't go.
Please.
Let her finish.
But I do agree. I mean, we look at what happened to Ukraine, which is not a big, it is a country, and it's not super powerful, right? And it's next to a country that is super powerful. And so it is an unfortunate situation. You always think, oh, what if that happened? What if two big dogs come together and we're like in the middle of it? You always think about those things, right? Or you think about, Hitler happened. He persuaded all these people to go against each other. Those things have happened in the past, and you always fear history repeating itself. Especially, y'all know I'm in the classroom. These ain't the brightest young people be bringing up right now. Eventually, you think to yourself, who's gonna be the leader? Because all y'all think internet is popping. They all think, oh, it's all about social media. Education is not important. Who cares about this, and this? I'm gonna do it my way. I don't even want a regular job, 9 to 5. Who's gonna lead the country when we're older? So these are concerns as we get older. We're thinking about the politicians who are in office now, but they grew up in a different generation than these new kids, right? So it's just a lot of things to unpack. I get it. Like I said, I do agree you should have a backup plan, but you should be very, very, very thorough in your investigation on where it is that you want to go and make sure it works for you. But at the same time, like I said, if you're over here and you're promoting for me to go to your country, I'm thinking, why are you not there? So
right here in America, where she can get a bucket of chicken for $3.95. She over here where she can get a bucket of chicken for $3.95.
I'm not talking about her. I'm just saying people in particular.
All right, let's go to Lady Di, then let's go to Keita.
Thank you. Because even with Chan, even with me having my tribe there, there's still difficulties. Like, my mom's been building a school there for a while, and there are land wars. Like, if you're not there all the time, somebody will try to take over your land, especially if they know that you're a foreigner that inherited the land. And even if they know that you have like relatives that, like, my family buried on my land. Like, my grandmother, who just passed away, will be 2 years this August. Her and my grandfather buried on our land. That's why we get to keep that's part of the reason why we get to keep our land. But even with that, there are things that we have to deal with, like even having family there. You know what I mean? So that's why what Louise said about doing research and just really like making yourself familiar. Like, if you are to go somewhere, like spending like extended periods of time there first would be recommended. Like doing what Louise said, when you travel to these places, actually going outside of the tourist areas and having conversations with commoners, like really leaving your hotel and exploring these places. Like, it sounds crazy and it sounds dangerous because, all they put in the news is like all the dangers and stuff, but let's be real, it's dangerous here in America sometimes too. And to Sweeney's question, there may, like, a lot of people may not be able to afford life here in America. But to those people, there are actually places where the American dollar is stronger, and the little bit that they do have here could potentially help them elsewhere if they stack and prepare for it. But I mean, I get what y'all are saying, but even it's just a matter of weighing the pros and cons for real, because if you do the research, it can only make things better.
All right, let's go. Hold on, let's go to Keita, and then let's get Jay in there because he haven't spoken at all on this.
All right, so I think that we've mentioned a lot of barriers to, dual citizenship, traveling abroad, just the opportunity. A lot of it seems rooted in financial, barriers. Also, you need to be able to make sure that you can secure employment should you decide to move abroad. But the United States has essentially trapped everyone here because most people do not speak two languages. Most people speak English only. And the economy in the United States, most of us have service-based jobs. Like it's a service industry economy. Most of us have service-based jobs. And so because of that, if you don't speak another language, how are you going to go take your job where you're providing a service to someone else abroad? You can't. So essentially, yeah, you're right. People are really stuck here. But there are means and ways for people to gain access to these opportunities abroad. They just have to take it upon themselves to educate themselves. There are plenty of programs that you can download or just like find on YouTube to learn other languages. I took 5 years of Spanish in high school, and I need to brush up on that. But the United States though sets us up really to be trapped here. So we really have to just take it upon ourselves as a culture, as a group of people, to educate ourselves, educate each other, and make each other aware of these opportunities, because there are so many places that we can live and use that passport to go out there and experience new cultures and new opportunities. Because what else do you have it for? America is not the end all be all of everything. Like, trust and believe that. Go out there and see the world because it's a beautiful place.
Is it really a trap though?
Yes.
How is it a trap? Don't most countries you have to work? Most people work physically within the country.
In most countries, people speak more than one language.
Well, I'm talking strictly about the work part of it. You said that they trapped us because most people have to work physically at a job, but isn't that the case?
I didn't say that. I said it was service-based industry jobs.
Yeah, which means that you're required to be in that place in order for you to be able to work, right?
No, I mean that you provide a service. So whether it be something that you're doing online, you could be doing call center work, whatever it is, you're providing a service. You don't have a trade that you're doing. Most people do not have a trade. So they're out there doing services. You have to be able to speak the language to be able to communicate with people. So you're locked in here because you don't speak any other languages. How are you going to go wait tables somewhere else? Even if you went somewhere else and that was your chosen profession, you can't go and wait tables anywhere else because you can't speak the language.
I think the reason why, but I think there's a geographical reason as to the reason why most Americans only speak one language. Because if you go to a lot of other, I'm gonna explain, a lot of other countries, most of those countries are literally the size of states. So you're talking about having to encounter, you have 6, 7 different countries bordering you that may speak a completely different language for you. Whereas in America is vast. You're talking about 50 states. It's a vast area. And we all speak the same language. So the likelihood of you encountering someone that don't speak that same language is slim to none. Whereas in other countries, I would expect to have to speak a different language, considering the fact that I may have to cross this border and I got to speak French over here. And then I got to speak the King's English over here, or I have to speak German on this side. Or like, that's what I think is more geographical as the reason why Americans don't speak multiple languages.
Well,
I disagree. We have so many immigrants that live here that speak so many different languages that I completely disagree with that.
Come from countries where they were taught multiple languages for that reason. But we in America don't. I'm talking about people who are born here in America. As a matter of fact, you get 2 generations and most people lose those languages. You get 2 or 3 generations in and most people lose the language of their homeland.
So why should I have to learn to speak a language when they come to my country? Why the fuck do I need to do that? You in my country. You got to adjust to us. Well, I shouldn't have to adjust to your ass.
Know one language.
Where were y'all on January 6th?
Because we have
Where were you?
Look here. Why do I need to make adjustment for an outsider? Why do I need to make adjustment for an outsider? You an outsider. I shouldn't have to make adjustments for you. You need, if you come here, you need to make adjustments to us. Just like if I go to your country, I have to adjust to your language.
Honestly,
I don't have to speak any other language over here.
That's probably why there's been such a breakdown in America, because of that same mentality.
What breakdown? What breakdown is happening in America?
I'm not, and listen, again, like I'm not participating in any kind of diaspora war or anything of the sort. I'm just saying that type of, it's giving very much a Trump ego.
Exactly.
Like, you know, like it's not even so much about making.
How do you get that from what I said?
English is the number one language
it's literally
in the world.